And our guest this morning, a gentleman I always enjoy having in because, Karl Stauber, when you're here, that means somebody's going to get some help around here from the Danville Regional Foundation. And I say that because the Danville Regional Foundation is usually in the middle of any economic development announcement you have given as an organization, literally tens of millions to help bring these kinds of businesses to town, businesses that without you folks and without the Tobacco Commission, we would still be dead in our tracks. But as it is, we are doing extremely well considering the economy. And some of the businesses that we're bringing to town that are so focused on high tech sends a message internationally to the kind of city this is and the kind of city this is becoming. But sort of a hole was filled yesterday. And the last time I had you in here about a month ago, we were talking about the book Switch. It started out with Pastor Bruce Wilson.
That's right.
Took it to his Rotary Club, took it to the Chamber of Commerce, took it to you at the Danville Regional Foundation, and built sort of a consortium, a group of people and organizations who work together on this to encourage a community read, which is a great idea because whenever you're pulling through something like this, anything that involves a community is a plus. Gets people working together, reminds people we are all involved in this. We all have some power in this process. And on a rainy day, a couple of weeks ago, over 500 people showed up at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning.
That's right.
To listen to the author of this book on a wet day, and they said, well, a free meal. I would have stayed. I wouldn't go out for a free meal on a rainy morning if I didn't have to. I've got food at home.
That's right.
You know, these people were energized, and I will tell you, I enjoyed doing the broadcast from there, and as they were coming out of there were two things that hundreds of people stopped by and said they were the most excited about. Number one was the number of people who was there. Number two was the fact that, and I'm not sure whose idea this was, it must have been you folks, you handed out cards to people saying, okay, if you've enjoyed this, we want you to make a commitment. We want you to write on this card what you're committed to do to make a difference and not let it lay here on the back page of this book. And then as a result of that, the foundation apparently decided, let's see if we can provide some small funding for some of these ideas that otherwise people would have never thought through because there wouldn't be money in the first place. So that's what yesterday's meeting was about.
That's right. Yesterday we announced our new Make It Happen initiative. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to take away a barrier. And to use switch language, we're trying to clear the path and shrink the change. Hutch, just like you talked about, there are some great big economic development projects out there, and we're happy to follow the city's lead and the county's lead on those. But that's hard for an average citizen to see, how do I get involved in that? Mm-hmm. So we've done, in the last 4 years, we've done 40 grants totaling $40 million. Our biggest grant's been in the $12 million range, and then we have smaller grants on down from there. But it's not something that kind of a lot of people can connect to directly. Mm-hmm. So Make It Happen is about small, fast grants to help you, the average citizen in your community identify something you really want to change, mm-hmm. something that you really care about, and we'll make a grant through a nonprofit or a church or a local unit of government, because that's the way the government requires us to work. We'll make a grant of up to $10,000 to help you make it happen. So the question that we're asking people is, so what do you want to change about the community? Make it happen.
So if they have an idea about making their neighborhood more safe that would require them spending $10,000 or less, they can go to their church, which is a nonprofit, give them a approximately three-page description of what they want to do, then the church applies to you, correct?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. Or a nonprofit, and we're not looking to help organizations buy a new bus. And it's not about choir robes at that church. Mm-hmm. It's about benefits that go beyond any single institution. It's about having a community impact. So it's about making everybody in that neighborhood safer, or it's about helping 500 kids to read better, or yesterday at the event we had 4 examples that we've already funded that are underway or that have been completed in some cases. And for example, a group of people going through the Chamber's Leadership Southside program last year, they have to choose a project every year. So they came up with this idea of Live Healthy. And it's had a great impact. You've had some of those folks on the air with you.
We had
stamps.
The 100-day wellness program.
That's exactly right.
As a part of that, they brought a speaker in from the ABC, the Good Morning Show, Good Morning America.
That's right. So That's an example of, for a small amount of money in a short period of time, it's had a major impact. The community read itself. Bruce Wilson's idea about, when he and I first started talking about it, he said, wouldn't it be great if we could get 250 people in our community to read this book? We got over 1,500 people in our community. Averett University they have a new bookstore, which is a great bright spot right there on West Main Street. They did all the book handling. They reduced what they would normally charge for the book. We helped underwrite that with a grant to Riverview Rotary. And we had over 1,500 people in this community, all in the same month, read the book, and then 550 plus of them showed up on that rainy morning 3 weeks ago to hear Dan Heath.
And that's sort of an example of what you're looking for, because if somebody has an idea, maybe if a school teacher has an idea that if she had a certain type of equipment or a certain types of supplies or a certain place to meet, she could raise the grade level at a certain grade. You're a good example of how sometimes you might need to get another organization or somebody else to help you and form a team on this. Because one of the things I heard yesterday at the press conference is you're looking for projects that can show a difference within 90 days or so, looking something that can improve and show that it's made a difference. Is that a fair statement?
That's exactly right. We're looking for concrete, tangible differences for a relatively small amount of money in a short period of time. And the goal is, in the next 12 months, we'll do somewhere between 50 and 100 of these, depending on, we've got $500,000 set aside for this purpose. If the average grant size is $5,000, we can do 100 of them. Mm-hmm. We can get 100 little fires burning in our community. And those fires will help to both show people that they can make a difference, and they'll help break us out of this passivity and into positive action.
If you've been sitting around at your church and saying, if we had the money, we could create such and such program that would help children after school or whatever, or increase their ability to learn something, that's something that could produce tangible results.
Absolutely.
Those are the kind of ideas you're looking for. And there are always going to be skeptics. I heard skeptics say, it's not going to help reading a book. Look what's come out of reading a book. In fact, that book was about attitudes. And if you have a negative attitude, you're the one who should have read the book first, because a lot of people's attitudes have become positive as a result of this. And when somebody says, well, a $10,000 grant to a school teacher or to a church is not going to help a lot, it is, because when people come to Danville to look at the kind of town this is and decide whether or not they want to locate here, if the place looks better, if it's safer, if they see a lot of pockets of people working on their own to improve the community, that's the kind of place they want to live, and that's what this can do.
That's right. And we hope to keep doing this over a number of years. This is not a one-shot deal for us, but a lot's going to depend on how people respond. This is a kind of get off the couch. Mm-hmm. You mentioned your church. It could just as easily be a civic club. Mm-hmm. It could be a group of people you drink coffee with on every Wednesday morning. Whatever it is, talk to your friends, and when they start saying, well, nothing ever happens and such, ask them the question, well, what do you want to change? Make it happen.
Exactly. Make it happen. We're talking with Karl Stauber this morning from the Danville Regional Foundation, who have created, as a result of the excitement about this book, Switch, and the number of people that we have all discovered do want to make a difference and are willing to put forth an effort, funding for ideas that up until now somebody would say, we could do this, but I don't have $6,000. I don't have $4,000. I don't have $8,000, or we don't have a place to meet. Well, it might be that if you go to a place that has a meeting place, you can go to them and say, look, we'd like to apply for some money. We'd like to have classes for kids here, or motivational, or whatever it is.
Right. And
partner with somebody. And in fact, I don't know if it would improve the chances, but it wouldn't hurt if you showed that you have a partner who agrees with the idea and is willing to help you make it happen.
That's exactly right.
Literally. And if we start doing this around town, and when we start doing this is going to change a lot of things on a grassroots level, and that's where real change comes from, when it's coming from everybody.
That's right.
So if they want information on this, what is the number to call? Because you do have one fellow who is pretty much heading this up for you.
That's right. Our point person on this is a gentleman by the name of Starling McKenzie, mm-hmm. And he is at the foundation. You can get more information two ways. You can call him on the phone. The number at the foundation is 434-799-2176. Or you can go to our website. This is all on our website, and how you apply, and what do we need in that 3-pager and those types of things, what we'll fund, what we won't fund. Our website is www, all one long word, DanvilleRegionalFoundation.org.
So you put your idea together. You get, if you need to, a couple of people or an organization to agree to work with you if you get the money. Then you go to a nonprofit, a church, or Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, somebody who's a nonprofit and can apply to you for funding because, as you had said, the law requires that you only fund tax-exempt organizations.
Right, and the other piece of the puzzle, part of what Switch talks about is we need to change. Mm-hmm. One of the changes we're making is we'll shoot to get this turned around in 2 weeks or less. And
that's incredibly fast normally for funding procedures.
That's right.
Because a lot of those that you apply in the spring, you hear in the summer or the fall.
That's right.
So that's very fast. So let me just encourage you, if you are a teacher, if you are a pastor, if you work with youth, if you have a problem in your neighborhood, talk to the people you've always talked about how this could be solved if you had the money, because now you might. Contact them, 799-2176. Put your plan together. They explain it. Go to their website and figure this thing out. And then literally make it happen.
Make it happen.
Thank you, Karl.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.